Wow, take a look at this little fella. Now this is a chompy. The jaws on this thing could ruin a robot's day. He's got a real big bite to him. I wouldn't want to get too close to them. He's not yet won a series, but he's got the power to. One day, this could be a future champion. Will it be tonight? I don't know. We'll find out. We'll let him to it. I'm going to go and check out the stingrays.
Welcome back to LEGO Wars and Heat G of the series. Last time out, an old legend of the series finally woke up as Whitehall took apart the field, leaving 11th seeds Flashover out for the count. This week we cap off the first half of the heats with the grabbing jaws of Chompy targeting another run into the bracket alongside the sophomore campaigner and fellow top 16 finisher from last year, Bulldog Breed, this time seeded
16.
Let's see who else will join them tonight.
First, from Adelaide, Australia and seeded number 11, Chompy.
Of all of the Retcon crew builds, Chompy has been the most consistently successful bot, but after a hefty repair job from the live scene, it could be another rough night.
From Conetticut, seeded number 16, Bulldog Breed.
Despite having some reasonably fragile armour, Bulldog Breed has shown a sturdy side and is yet to be KO'd by an opponent.
From Brisbane, Australia, Muffin.
This crazed crusher has become something of a favourite amongst crew members not called Jevon, but is yet to make it further than the play-ins and could do with a breakout performance.
From Denver, Colorado, Wilbert.
Despite bordering on the chopping block, it remains one of the more fun designs in this series, although we hope the magnet for the pit has been deactivated this time.
From Sheffield, Rex.
A late entry into Series 6, Rex's classic drum design is a nice callback to some of the earlier build designs, and in a more open heat it may have a chance of a play-in. There's definitely some revenge in order later tonight, but for now Chompy must first take on New Boy's Rex to start the action.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Away we go then for LEGO Wars Series 6 Heat G, and we begin with a bit of a kit clash here. Chompy 2, seeded number 13, unlucky for some. Will it be unlucky for them in this heat? They take on newcomers Rex. Rex based off of the character of the same name, Not Rex, from the Mass Effect video game series, which I am a massive fan of, so kudos to whoever built Rex for LEGO Wars Series 6. I am already a fan. Wonder if it will just say Shepard over and over again to Chompy 2. We shall see. Chompy 2, a new grabbing mech installed on Chompy 2, looking a little bit like a praying mantis, I think. What do you reckon? The head looking a little bit mantis-like. Rex coming in with the drum. Contacts the wheel there of Chompy, goes for the pit button, doesn't get it at the moment though. Down goes the pit, eventually with a few bites of the cherry. Rex now trying to activate the Jevon strats against Jevon's robot in Chompy 2. Chompy 2 going to push Rex towards the pit, and they're teetering on the edge already. Chompy 2 bows its head over and over again. Rex, can they get away from here? I don't think they can. It's a suboptimal start for the rookies. They go down the pit. Chompy 2 securing 3 points and a well-earned win. Welcome then to LEGO Wars Rex. Your first fight is over and done with pretty easily, I have to say. They dealt with the drum pretty well, did Chompy 2. Used their ground game at the front to great effect. They pushed Rex around the arena. Rex did activate the pit button, which caused it to be its own demise. Chompy 2 with superior grip and control pushed Rex over the pit, and eventually it slid down the hole from which it came. 3 points to Chompy.
A commanding performance from Chompy to start their latest charge. Next up, it's literally dog eat dog in the arena as Bulldog faces Muffin.
David, your booty is too voluptuous. You opened the door.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah.
Hate it when that happens.
The cake is just so good.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Our second fight of the night then sees two dogs go to war. Bulldog breed seeded number 16 with the flipper, a round of 16 placing last time around. They were defeated there by 23 red. And of course, the infamous Muffin. Of course it had to be Muffin in a heat with another Jevon bot, didn't it? I'm pretty sure Jevon has got PTSD from this machine at this point. Muffin, of course, famously knocking out Emulator. I think last year, was it Shatterstar? It beat, I can't remember. It was one of the Jevon machines, wasn't it? One of the Team Retcon machines. And Bulldog breed. Good lift there. Almost got the skin off of Muffin ripped away already. But Muffin activates the pit button. The 16th seeds know what Muffin is going to try and do now. Muffin have lost, I think, the jaws at the front. But they have got a very low ground clearance and they have got a lot of drive power, and Bulldog breed is being edged back towards the pit. Bulldog breed, they can't resist the tide here of Muffin, and Muffin here on the brink of 3 points and a great start to the heat. Muffin pushing and pushing. Can they get Bulldog breed down? Bulldog breed on the very lip of the precipice of the pit. They're digging in here, the seeded machine, but they can't get away. Muffin have got them held against the pit, caught between a rock and a hard place, and I think the wheel has now gone over the pit for Bulldog breed, and down the pit finally. Bulldog breed defeated. Muffin get 3 points on the board from their first fight. What a performance from Muffin. Well, every dog has its day, and Muffin have their moment in the sun. In this fight, Bulldog breed weren't able to withstand the drive power of Muffin. They did get a couple of lifts off, and we did see the customary armour collapse of Muffin there, but they did respond well. The drive power, as always in Muffin, is its weapon, really, not the jaws at the front. And Bulldog breed, once they were caught over the pit like that, it was one-way traffic down the pit.
A sturdy drive from the Aussie bot to move them temporarily joint top with Chompy. The 11th seeds can reclaim that top spot outright though if they get past Wilbert. These two fought at this stage back in Series 4 where the big wheeler got a solid snipe on the wheel, and although Chompy survived a full time, the weapon effectiveness was enough to secure the win, so let's see if the new improved grabber can turn the tables.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Our final entry then into Heat G will be Wilbert, the Billy clone from NHRL and other events across the United States. Wilbert, of course, magnetised to the pit in LEGO Wars, a veteran of the series this time around. It's his fourth entry into LEGO Wars, a tough ask though to get out of this heat with robots like Chompy 2 in the field, who is kind of perfectly countered to Wilbert, isn't it? A big wedge at the front and the ground game and able to just bully it around the arena. There's no grip on Wilbert, but it is a phenomenal robot to drive. It really is. It's hard to describe really how good it is to manoeuvre around the arena, but it is very good fun. They have lost one of their stabilizers, which is going to impact how effective that weapon is, but they are good fun and good sports as well in the arena. And they are able to cause damage more often than not to their opponents. Chompy 2 though at the moment closing down all the angles they need to Wilbert. They've got control of Wilbert here. They've got them grappled in the jaws. Good push there from Chompy 2. Off comes an entire wheel there off of Wilbert, and that's going to very much compromise Wilbert's manoeuvrability around the arena. Chompy 2 circling in the light. They think they've got the job done. I think they probably have got the job done. They just need to push Wilbert down the pit here, but Chompy 2, they've got Wilbert's other wheel now dangling over the pit of oblivion. The fight as a contest is very much done here. One big heave-ho, and it's good night to Wilbert. Wilbert, oh my god, what is Chompy doing? Just pushing in the pit, and they've got themselves stuck on the pit. I can't believe what I've seen. Chompy 2, faced with an open goal, has somehow got itself stuck over the pit and now can't drive itself, and they are both being counted out to a simultaneous KO. What on earth has just happened? Judges, please make sense of this, because I have no idea what's going on. It was all looking so routine, wasn't it, for Chompy 2? They had control of the fight, they had Wilbert where they wanted them, they even had Wilbert's drive disabled on one side and the other wheel hanging over the pit. It was looking so good. I think, though, what they did here, we'll see in a second. So here goes the pit button, there goes the wheel of Wilbert, pushes the wheel over the pit, and then Chompy instead of pushing Wilbert down, gets itself kind of stuck on the lip of the pit there, and they didn't want to drive away in case they fell in.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Chompy. Perhaps it's a little unfair that Chompy only got 2 points from that win, but it does send them top outright, so it's Muffin's turn to fight back against Rookie's Wrex.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Off we go then between Wrex and Muffin. Of course, Muffin did very well in their first fight, pitting Bulldog breed. Wrex did okay, I thought, against Chompy 2, although Chompy 2 were a class above Wrex, it has to be said. The drum spinner yet to get going for Wrex now does so, and once again we see the jaws of Muffin looking limp and lifeless, but once again the entire body armour of Muffin has come apart. It wasn't really offering much protection, was it, and didn't offer much resistance to the drum spinner of Wrex, although look at that, Muffin gets Wrex right against the arena wall and forces them back there. Good grip and drive power in the Muffin chassis. Wrex not spinning its drum thus far. Weapon up to speed now is Wrex against the screws at the side of the arena. Muffin hits the pit button, down goes the pit. And Wrex and Muffin come to blows once more. Muffin chasing them down like a terrier. It's not a terrier, is it? It's a blue healer, I'm pretty sure. Wrex, though, the stout-hearted Krogan in the arena. Can they offer some much-needed violence and destruction to Muffin? Although Muffin is doing pretty well at manoeuvring out of trouble and keeping away from the danger zone. That is the drum of Wrex. Wrex pushed back against the arena sidewall, gets away now, but only to be met by Muffin once more and forced back by Muffin. Good control by Muffin. Wrex now high-centered on the discarded armor panels of Muffin, and down the pit goes Wrex. Muffin turned on the style and gets a much-earned 3 points. You know, there are times when I do these commentaries when I wonder why Muffin even bothers with the outer armour, because this happens in basically every fight, but I think we saw the example as to why they do bother with the armour panels at all. Wrex ripping them off led to their demise later in the fight, and, you know, despite the obvious threat of them losing components, they're able to pin them on their own armour and pit Wrex.
This might finally be the night that Muffin makes a bracket run, cue some Jevon Despair noises, as they've now moved first. Meanwhile, Bulldog needs to get back onto its solid status as it takes on Wilbert.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Off we go then for fight number 5 of the night, exactly halfway through the heat. After this one, everyone will have fought twice. We can get a little bit of a gauge as to where this heat might end up. Bulldog breed currently on 0 points. Wilbert with the 1 for beating, of course, being beaten by Chompy 2 in that very unusual double KO situation. Surely Chompy would have just been easy just throwing them down the pit, but there we are. Wilbert comes in on the attack again and causes more damage to Bulldog breed, and Bulldog breed pushes Wilbert into the corner, over by the screws, and more damage sustained by Bulldog breed, and that horizontal spinner of Wilbert is pretty effective when it gets going and cleaving through Bulldog breed, and Bulldog breed almost dives down the pit, but they get Wilbert between them and the pit. And Bulldog breed pushes Wilbert on the lip of the pit, and now they're stuck there. They can't get away. They're spinning their wheels. Bulldog breed will not make the same mistake Chompy did. Surely just drive down on their own accord. Bulldog breed comes in on the attack. One little lift should do it. Down the pit goes Wilbert. The pit magnet happens once again. Bulldog breed gets all 3 points. A promising start for Wilbert was kind of cut short of their own accord, really. They caused enormous damage to Bulldog breed, ripping away both front panels, and did cause Bulldog breed a little bit of a scare, certainly. They opened the pit. Why on earth would the pit magnet open the pit? I have no idea. Bulldog breed took full advantage and bundled Wilbert down the pit. Good recovery from Bulldog breed, the seated machine.
A typical end to proceedings for Wilbert to put the 16 seeds on the board at the halfway point. Now everybody, there's a true grudge match on our hands as Chompy attempts to avenge their fellow Retcon brethren as it's their turn to take on the current leaders Muffin.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
These two currently at the top of the heat after 2 fights apiece. How would you assess their heat? Muffin, you've got to give an A+ to, surely. They are on a maximum 6 out of 6 points. A brilliant performance thus far. Of course, they have pedigree against Retcon Robotics machines, so they'll be hoping to continue that streak here against yet another from that stable of machines in Chompy 2. Chompy 2 themselves, I'd give them an A or a B as well. They only drop points in that controversial, unusual double KO with Wilbert, so yeah, I think pretty happy with their performance as well thus far. I think Chompy 2. Muffin and Chompy 2, of course, have both represented Australia at international level in LEGO Wars, so I've got my list of cliche Australian phrases that I've got to try and get into commentary somehow, and crikey, look at the damage already onto Muffin. Muffin, of course, a bit of a bogan in LEGO Wars for some people, but I love it. Muffin is doing a brilliant job thus far in this heat and proving its worth as a very resolute and sturdy competitor. Meanwhile, Chompy 2, the experience and the higher pedigree certainly in this heat. But you have to say they're probably the ones who are the favourites in this fight. Muffin did have a grab there briefly on the wheel of Chompy 2. Chompy 2 gets away now. Chompy 2 gets round to the front again. They'll be nervous of their stablemates' warnings. Emulator and Shatterstar remembers a lot from their experiences with Muffin. Muffin has now stopped against the arena wall. Has Chompy done some critical internal damage? I think it may have done. And Chompy now gets to work and slams its grabbing jaw into Muffin. I think Muffin here has been done in by Chompy 2. And fair dinkum to Chompy 2. They're spinning in delight. Muffin is not moving. They are immobilised. They are beaten.
6.
You little ripper. Chompy 2 gets 3 points on the board and revenge for Retcon Robotics. On paper, you have to say this is probably an expected win for Chompy 2, but we know the history between Retcon Robotics and Muffin has been a turbulent one, to say the very least, but this will be a massive, massive weight off of Chompy 2's shoulders. They knew it was the banana skin fixture of the heat. Muffin has been doing incredibly well as well this series, and a good push here, and I think turned the robot off there. That is a huge shot from Chompy 2, and the massive 3 points to their campaign.
Muffin grounds to a halt to ensure Chompy avoids the plains this year and finally eats that horse against their fellow Aussie rivals. Their fellow Seeds Bulldog though could really do with another win from Fight 7 of the night as they take on bottom placing Wrex.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
How would you grade these two then after 2 fights? Bulldog breed, I'm going to give them a C-. You know, 3 points on the board isn't bad, but it was a win over Wilbert, who is yet to get off the mark. Well, in a meaningful sense, they probably should have been knocked out in the first one, but they've only got 1 point on the board. Wrex have got nothing on the board, but they are rookies, so I'm probably going to give them a D. So a little bit of leniency for Wrex here. Plus, I also like the theme of the robot, you know, it's Mass Effect themed. How could you not like that? Bulldog breed, though, seeded number 16. They'll need to turn on the style here and try and get some points on the board to ensure they have a second run at the bracket this time around. Wrex, of course, rookies to LEGO Wars. Thus far, we haven't really seen the true potential, I don't think, of Wrex, although I have to say, having driven this machine myself, it is a delight to spin around the arena. It's very, very loose in terms of its grip on the arena floor, and that makes it a very fun robot to drive. Bulldog breed comes face to face with Wrex once again. Wrex now up to speed. They can see that they can't get the grip down and the power down in order to manoeuvre around Bulldog breed and smack him with the drum, but Bulldog breed gets away and they get smacked anyway. Bulldog breed sustains more damage here from Wrex. And Wrex's weapon effectiveness thus far, I think, has been better of the two. Bulldog breed, we've yet to really see it get in underneath and throw Wrex around. And Wrex will be happy with that thus far. Wrex again goes weapon to weapon with Bulldog breed. Bulldog breed lifts and raises the lifter, but it comes back down with a crash again. Now Bulldog breed in underneath, and can they lift Wrex up and over? That's a good attack there. Didn't quite manage to get Wrex upside down, but Wrex back on the offensive once again and in underneath. Bulldog breed now themselves trying to get that drum into play there. They'll cause all kinds of havoc with the underside of the seeded machine. Bulldog breed, like I said, Bulldog breed made it all the way to the round of 16 in the last series, knocked out there in the end by 23 red. Wrex, of course, a first-time competitor. They'll be hoping to put their mark on proceedings in this heat. Bulldog breed dives to the pit button. I think they know they're kind of a little bit behind the 8 ball here against Wrex. They need to turn the tide of the fight, and quickly, because Bulldog breed have taken quite a lot of punishment from the Wrex drum. Oh, and almost went down the pit there. A little bit of poor driving could have cost them, but they managed to get away with it. Wrex keeping on the attack now, keeping Bulldog Breed under pressure. Bulldog Breed forced back by Wrex, and those tracks trundling around, and look at that, trying to nudge Bulldog Breed towards the pit. Can they get them down? It'll be a huge 3 points if Wrex could get them across the line. Bulldog Breed digging in and trying to make sure that doesn't happen. Bulldog Breed gets away from the pit just about, but Wrex forces them back once again, and Bulldog Breed here. Oh, for a second I thought they were going down the pit. We are down to the last few seconds of the fight. The judges may have to decide unless there is a very quick finish to this match. There isn't. We get a tie between Bulldog Breed and Wrex. A good fight between the two, but I think we all know who the stronger robot was there, don't we? Key factor for me in this fight, the ground game of Bulldog Breed was removed very, very early on by the drum of Wrex, and that really compromised their strategy in this fight. They weren't able to get the lifter in underneath to try and turn Wrex over and beat them. Wrex then had free reign to kind of cause as much damage as they wanted, and while Bulldog Breed did have a couple of opportunities to flip them over, there weren't many in that fight, were there? Wrex, for me, the superior machine.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Wrex. The rookie is getting a lifeline against a faltering Bulldog, but the Seeds taking another point might prove crucial. Meanwhile, it's do or die for Wilbur as they need a KO against second place Muffin to stay in the competition.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
As Muffin sport the sombrero, we have to give Wilbur their grading for the heat thus far. I'm going to give them an E because they have got a point on the board, but it has been another forgettable campaign and a pit magneting for Wilbur thus far. They should really be on 0 points if Chompy had done their job properly. We have got some heat permutations for you though. If Muffin gets anything other than being knocked out in this fight, they will guarantee themselves at least a top 3 berth. If Wilbur win by knockout and win their next fight by knockout, they can catch Muffin and overtake them. Muffin, though, have opened the pit button. Their intentions have been made very clear here. Wilbur have once again ripped all the armour off of Muffin, but Muffin, as we know, doesn't really mind that. If the armour's gone, it gives them a chance to high sense their opponents, although I think they'll struggle with that with Wilbur. Although Wilbur is struggling to translate. Are they okay? Yes, it seems so. So currently we have Muffin on 6 points. They can not be caught by Wrex. They can be caught by Bulldog Breed just about if results go against them. But I think if they get Wilbur down the pit, it doesn't really matter. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. Muffin is going to get another knockout and another pitting. 3 points on the board, and they guarantee themselves a top 2 finish. Well done, Muffin. Well, Muffin has been driven to absolute perfection for the majority of the night, and the absolute muffussy has been given to the entire field. Muffin was superb throughout the night. The only blot on their copybook was the knockout loss to Chompy 2, but other than that, they have been a force to be reckoned with, and a bracket guaranteed spot for Muffin. What a performance from them.
A shellless Muffin is still a very dangerous threat as they bump Wilbur into another crash out in the heats and secure their own place in the bracket for the first time. The big wheel bot only has pride to fight for in their final fight, but their fellow spinner can increase the pressure on Bulldog if they get a KO.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Heat permutations for you then as we enter our penultimate fight of the night. Wilbert cannot qualify. They are guaranteed to go out as they cannot catch Bulldog Breed. They will lose on countback despite a knockout win in this fight. So Wilbert are out of the competition as things stand. Wrex, however, they can catch Bulldog Breed if results go their way. Because of the fact that they beat Bulldog Breed on countback, then it means that Wrex will qualify for a play-in spot, but I don't think that's going to happen because they've lost one of their tracks almost immediately here to Wilbert. And Wilbert has split the track and playing spoiler here to Wrex's big day. Wilbert now have a great opportunity to win this fight and maybe salvage some honour in the heat. Wilbert in command now. They have to be careful not to get completely wrecked though by Wrex's drum. They are taking damage here from Wrex. It is still a dangerous opponent, Wrex, with that drum spinning, and they are able to bring it into play again and then shatter bits and pieces off of the Wilbert bar look. You can see bits of blue Lego strewn across the arena. Wrex still able to cause Wilbert some headaches, but Wilbert are being very, very canny here, being very careful not to just go weapon to weapon and lose those encounters over and over again. And there goes one of the forks at the front of Wrex. been ripped away by Wilbert, and they get round the back now, but they miss the opportunity there to get the other track sniped on Wilbert. There goes the face of Wilbert as well. So more damage sustained by Wilbert. They need to be careful not to get themselves in a pickle here, but I think Wrex have stopped moving. They're high-centred on the side that still has drive. Wilbert spins for delight because they're going to get 3 points on the board. Wrex are eliminated from the competition. They will finish in dead last in this heat. Wilbert recover to 4th. Despite battling with the heart of a true Krogan, it does mean that Wrex are going to finish last in the heat this time due to the damage sustained there with that enormous shot ripping one of the tracks off. And Wilbert did recover some respect and some dignity with a win over Wrex here. They're not going to finish last, but another frustrating campaign for Wilbert, despite the victory spin at the end.
Wilbert decides to crab bucket Wrex and dishes out some solid aggression on the Dractbot to finish 4th tonight, meaning the 16th seeds can breathe a sigh of relief knowing they have a play-in berth locked in. This fight is mainly about where these two want to line up in their bracket, so let's see how they'll finish.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Away we go for the final time tonight. The seeded machines go head to head. Seed 13, Chompy 2, and seed 16, Bulldog Breed. In terms of what's on the line for this fight, there's not really that much in terms of positional change that we can see here. Bulldog Breed are guaranteed to finish 3rd place no matter what the result, so we'll have to see how that goes. And Chompy 2, well, they can win the heat if they win the fight by any means. They will overtake poor old Muffin, of course, who are currently top of the leaderboard, so we'll have to see if Chompy 2 can finish the job and win the heat. And it'll be the first time, I think, this series where the highest seed has won the heat, would you believe? So it made it all the way to Heat G, the 7th heat of the series for it to happen. So let's see if Chompy 2 can get that over the line. If Bulldog Breed win by knockout, Bulldog Breed stops that from happening. Chompy 2, though, have the ground game advantage thus far over Bulldog Breed, and Bulldog Breed very close to the pit. They need to get away from there. Chompy 2, a great opportunity here to get that fight win all wrapped up immediately. Bulldog Breed on the lip of the pit. They can't get away from there. I think they're high-centred on one side. They need to drive away and fast Bulldog Breed, or else they're going to end up down the pit. Chompy 2 closing down, but they get away and activate the Jevon Strat, or do they? They back out Bulldog Breed and they go forward once again. Chompy 2 wise to it. They don't fancy getting involved in any of the shenanigans and games that Bulldog Breed are playing. Bulldog Breed stuck in the corner though at the moment. They are quite a wide robot, Bulldog Breed. They're being very careful not to drop a wheel over the pit, and they get away now. Good driving from Bulldog Breed there to get out of trouble, but Chompy 2 back on the attack once again to put them back into trouble and causing more damage to the best of British. Bulldog Breed, they're going to have to fight their way through the play-ins if they want a bracket spot for their 2nd season of competing. Bulldog Breed, not really a sophomore slump, I'd say, but just maybe a little bit of regression, maybe a bit of a reality check as we go weapon to weapon here, or weapon to armour, I guess, in Chompy's case. And Chompy brings the arm down once again, tries to pull that side panel away on Bulldog Breed. Bulldog Breed in underneath Chompy 2 now. Can they lift Chompy 2 on their backs? Not quite, but it was a moment of weakness there from Chompy 2, and they'll have to be aware of that. Quick push down the pit, and it means they don't win the heat. If they can take it to the judges, then they will win the heat regardless of the result due to countback. They'll get 9 points if they get a judge's loss, and of course that will tie them with Muffin, but they beat Muffin, so it means that they win the heat. Chompy 2 pushes Bulldog Breed back into the screws. Can it get any meaningful damage there? Not quite. Bulldog Breed brings the lifter down, doesn't quite have the purchase to get in underneath Chompy 2. We're going to get a tie between these two unless there is a quick finish to the fight. Chompy 2 has done enough here to secure heat victory. Bulldog Breed will not be able to play spoiler to that. We go to the judges between the two seeded robots. Well, as we reflect on this fight, and indeed this heat, this fight for me felt a little bit like a end of season match with nothing on the line. Both robots on the beach a little bit, not wanting to give the other any opportunities. It was a little bit cagey and, standoffish, I thought. I don't know. Good control by both robots, but it was clear that both had bigger fish to fry. Chompy 2 wins the heat regardless of the result. Bulldog Breed will see them in the play-ins.
And the winner by unanimous decision is Chompy. another controlling performance from Chompy means we finally have a higher seed top the tables to conclude this heat. It's been another fun night in the LEGO Wars arena as the two grabbing crushing machines, Chompy and Muffin, were a step above everybody as they look to make solid rankings in the bracket. That's all from us tonight as we go on a mini mid-season break, but we'll be back in a fortnight where two of our more fun seeds and Mr. Waffle and Sir Lancelot will be out to bring more chaos to proceedings. For now though, I've been your host David Smeg, and we'll see you in the next one.
I think I've only watched about 3 episodes.
Your homework, Jed, is to watch more Bluey.
Mum made me watch the story time episode.
Oh, don't! That's not wise, Rob. Don't do that. That's the soul-destroying episode, of which there are a few.